deep in the Grand Nozellian mines lay a most unexpected discovery. Now in possession of knowledge that could alter the course of history.
Unexpected though it may be, the salt crystals are now...
Carefully, for this is an opportunity to reshape the...
It's a target on our backs is what it is. They'll be...
Hyzant will set upon us with a fury we've never known if they hear of this.
She's right. They will stop at nothing to defend their faith.
Nor will Esfrost go quietly into the night.
Then let us prepare for when word does spread. Whether we protect the salt as ours or find another way to use.
What say you, Your Majesty?
We find ourselves at a crossroads. I too wish to act quickly.
Your caution is admirable, but...
That much is obvious.
Benedict, I find myself unmoored as well. I wish to...
As you wish. Pray.
Serenoa, answer me this. Can I count on you to walk the path with...
I was named Lord of House Wolfort long before I was... And I've been your friend even longer still.
Say no more. Take the others to Castle Wolfort and await my word.
As you wish.
Have you heard the popular rumor, Lord Clare?
That Hyzant intends to raise an army against Glenbrook?
So it's reached the consortium, then?
King Roland has only just reclaimed the Crown City. Ordinarily, such a thing would be unthinkable. But the rumors are...
For example?
I wouldn't be so restless if I had an example.
Esfrost gathers its troops at Twinsgate.
Perhaps. But therein lies the opportunity for merchants like us.
You're quite right about...
And each shift in Norzellia's...
Will the consortium continue trading with Hyzant?
'Tis difficult to say. I believe House Wolfort's actions from here on will be key.
House Wolfort, you say?
Indeed. They've been involved in most every conflict between the... I shall wait and see how Lord Serenoa responds first, lest I make any hasty decisions.
I am gladdened to see I have asked you here. Alas, Glenbrook has taken those very mines from... What's worse, Glenbrook's esteemed House Wolfort. They will no doubt be informed of the salt crystals. I trust you can all imagine how they will not go quietly, but will instead seek the crystals for themselves. Therefore, we must subdue Glenbrook and seize the mines for Esfrost if we are to counter this grave threat. But we cannot stop there. They will stop at nothing. The Duchy has never been in a more precarious... But we will not yield. Our newest weapon, the Death's Knell, the false goddess, shall... Raise your sword. Your names shall be cast in iron.
For Esfrost!
Oh yes. The Death's Knell will reduce many a falsehood to rubble.
Ah, Milo has sent a dispatch. Deep within the Grand Rosalian mines lies...
Impossible!
The discovery of salt outside the source explains Gustadolf's reason.
How can you be so calm? The teachings tell us that salt is a discovery of these salt crystals.
Salt crystals are salt too. We need only keep word.
Of course.
The Hierophant has spoken. Minister Exham.
The Hierophant asks us to invade.
Do you have another way to silence King Ro-
Minister Serenoa is one of us, and thus... But we know not if he will do so, or if he will cast his lot with his precious. You shall ask him yourself when you surround...
And if he resists?
You are free to deal with him, as we do...
Hyzant has learned of the salt crystals. Minister Exham of the Saintly Seven wastes no time in mustering his army, which now marches on the Grand Rosalian mines. Elsewhere, Gustadolf amasses his own forces at Twins Gate in anticipation of the war to come. All eyes are on Glenbrook, where Roland and Serenoa's pronouncement could touch off a battle for the soul of Norzelia. After much deliberation, Roland makes his way to Castle Wolffort to inform Serenoa of the decision that now weighs heavy on his heart.
I appreciate you coming all this way, Roland.
I was the one who asked for your time.
And I would hear your...
I've long pondered over the one thing that Norzelia needs most. I thought back on the Salt Iron War. Each nation still thinks only of itself. But who bears the brunt of such a war?
The people.
Exactly so.
And yet without that wealth...
This much is obvious, but there can be no winner without a loser.
And how do you propose we achieve?
Yes. The goddess's teachings. All can live as equals under the goddess. An authority... The model nation was in front of us all along, Serenoa. I have decided that we must give the salt crystals and the grand...
And in so doing, you'll give them control of...
Exactly. There will be no more squabbling over salt. Norzelia will know...
Unequal peace, surely.
I am not blind to that fact. But so... Nothing in this world is perfect, Serenoa. The sacrifice of the few for the good of the many.
Submitting to the goddess will rob you of your kingship.
So be it. My crown. My pride.
You are truly prepared to throw it all away.
Join me, Serenoa.
Roland, this is...
I understand. I expect Frederica will want nothing to do with this plan, seeing as it forsakes her people. I am already mourning the rift this may cause between you, but I shall not be swayed.
King Roland's anguish plays.
I'm not surprised. The future of...
Pray tell, what do you intend to do about this?
In truth, I cannot... Salt is too precious to be hoarded. We've...
Where the difficulty lies, yes. Salt lies at the heart of every war.
Would that the boundless salted sea of Rosellan legend still existed.
My love, if I may, the discovery of the salt. The first is that my mother spoke true.
And the other is that the goddess's teachings...
Just so. We are guilt, yet the Roselle languish in the source, where they are looked down upon and forced to work, and entire generations lost. Countless lives given to Hyzant's cruelty. cruelty created to...
Such is the ugly...
One revealed by a crystal of the mineral they hold so dear. The time has come, Serenoa. The salt crystals have brought us to the brink of war. We can harness this unrest, incite the
I am with you. Believe me, I am.
Simple. Yes, I know. But we can no longer wait for someone to do the right thing.
I swear to you, none of this feels distant to me. It couldn't feel any closer.
And I thank the stars that I have you by me. In truth, that's why I think this time will be...
I agree. But the risk is... Suppose we succeed, what then?
Of course not.
And when that time comes, just as your mother wrote about in the book she left beyond the Great Falls in the Folk's domain at the ancestral home of the Roselle.
But that's just a legend.
We've already found one legend to be rooted.
I doubt Benedict will share our feelings, abandoning all we've built to embark on a journey. Yet no matter how perilous the path.
I trust you understand what a monument... Whatever course of action we choose will determine whether
How would you proceed, Benedict?
I would do all I could to keep it from falling into highs. They already control the source, with the siren song of a false...
Even though they count me among...
Even then, for that matters little when the equality... In the end, they will have the same life and death control over...
And our wounds from the battle with Esfrost have... Hyzant will destroy it.
But they stand little chance against us if we ally with Esfrost.
Ally with Esfrost?
Quite. Think about it. Esfrost wants nothing more than to loosen.
Our interests are broadly aligned, yes, but...
Esfrost has been building toward precise...
You speak of the Death Knell, the weapon that Cordelia mentioned.
Precisely. A weapon capable... Without that weapon, you need only say the word.
I appreciate your candor, Benedict. But I fear the harder fight is within our own...
I bid you listen closely and...
From whence this somber tone?
Do you believe King Roland is fit to rule?
What are you implying?
Decorum is of little use when the fate of our realm is at stake. Are you content to spend the rest of your life in servitude to another?
Not another word, Benedict. Roland is more than my king.
And you are Lord of House Wolfort, not the guard dog of Glenbrook and Hyzant. What else are you here to do, if not to protect you? But you have the potential for so much. All Norzelia could be yours if you but desired it.
Treason, if not outright...
Of course not. The blood in your veins and the royal...
I told you not to speak of that again.
But you did not tell me to forget.
I've heard enough.
I pray that you make the right, but for yourself.
Have you reached a decision, lad?
Alas, no.
You know I'll follow you down whatever path you choose. And as long as it's just a single battle ahead of us, we gotta win in strategy.
What do you mean?
This village has a deadly secret, lad. You see the aqueducts all around. They can be filled with oil just as well as water.
How terrible.
I only found out from Benedict the other day myself. All you need to do is hit one of the hawk statuettes. That'll spring a fence up around the area. The fence will keep them in, and the fire will do them in.
And take part of the village with it. Truly a last...
Aye. And I understand why your father and Benedict chose... But I'm not telling you just for your edification. If you think it...
Thank you, Eredor. You are certain Hyzan's army marches for the Grand...
There is no doubt.
They've heard word of the crystals.
It was only a matter of time. We knew this.
Frost's army gathers at Twins Gate as well.
War's breaking out over this thing and...
How will Glenbrook respond, Kinbrook?
There's no need to prepare for war. I have decided that we will surrender the salt.
What?
Furthermore, I hereby declare that the kingdom of Glenbrook and its people... There is no way to bring happiness to all Norzelia with the salt crystal, which is why I have chosen a path that will allow the greatest number of...
How could you? Do you not see that Hyzan is the suffering of the Rosal, not proof enough that the god...
She speaks the truth, my king. Handing over the soul. Will you so readily surrender the realm to the Hierophant?
I acknowledge the abdication of my kingdom and kingship alike. A small price to pay in my eyes. In exchange for the...
And the sacrifice of the Rosal.
It is.
How could you say such a thing to my face?
I, for one, oppose. I would prefer... The salt deposits within the mines give us...
Ally with Esfroth? You dare suggest we ally with the man who murdered my father?
I see no reason why we should not. You proposed, so you should have no trouble putting aside your own feelings.
I cannot believe my own ear. I will not have you lecture me on feeling.
None of you can see beyond your own grievances. It's no wonder my people have suffered. We're told to believe in the goddess, while our... And now, even with proof that the goddess...
Lady Frederica, please. We shall speak of the Roselle in due time.
No, I've heard that before. Your due time is never, and I will not have you cast us aside for another 3 decades or more. All else is in disarray. We know the truth. We must act upon it. We
cannot afford to dilute our forces when the enemy marches on us as we speak.
So we are a distraction to you?
I am merely being rational. Suppose we succeed. How do you propose we fend off the fury Hyzant will rain down upon us?
Esfrost would pounce on us, sensing weakness at the undue burden we've taken upon ourselves.
Precisely. We would be without allies and ripe for the taking.
There is another way.
And what, pray tell, would that be?
We set out alongside the Roselle in search of Centralia.
Centralia is a myth.
The legends of my people are true.
I care not one whit if they are. I will hear no talk of forsaking the Wolfort domain.
Silence! I have heard enough to know where each of you stand. Do you all hold the courage of your own convictions?
I do.
Nothing I've heard here has swayed me.
I feel the same.
Very well. But know that a choice must be made. There can only be one way forward. Face the scales of conviction and prepare to make peace with the outcome.
Lord Serenoa. However, Even so... Then...
Aye, lad. Here's what I think. Consider this. And further.
However, But... Furthermore...
What do you need? Well... I don't think so. What do you need?
The opinions before us are many. Approach the scales of...
You aren't wrong, but...
You have my vote.
I have faith in you.
Forgive me, lad.
The scales of conviction... Equal votes for all sides. The way forward is decided. Frederica's dream is worth realizing. We will free...
A tumultuous meeting exposes a yawning chasm between Roland, Frederica, and Benedict's visions for the future. Yet only one will emerge victorious, for such is the custom of House Wolford. As ever, the scales of conviction have the final word. The time has come for judgments to be rendered, and leaders to steel themselves for the outcome.
We've chosen our path. We are to free the Roselle being held in Hyzant's source.
You have chosen the one path I cannot take.
I understand your disappointment, Benedict, but... And so I ask for your wisdom. Help.
Hyzant will destroy everything you hold dear. That way lies ruin. Your choice is to turn your back on this house. I will not, I cannot endure.
I agree that we will be ill-prepared to defend the domain this way. Should that come to pass, I am prepared to flee with the Roselle and... They say it is home to a boundless salted sea. Surely This is an opportunity, Benedict. We could find a new home.
Why not channel that resolve to lead the people of Norzelia as their king? You hold the power and the might. You lack only the will. With the salt crystals in hand, you shall ascend the throne. Then we can liberate the Roselle, or whatever.
Liberate the Roselle, or whatever else.
I stand by them. I care only that you and the legacy of House Wolforders. I shall offer my counsel by force.
You don't mean to fight the lad.
Stand down, Benedict.
No, Anna. This is a challenge that I must accept.
I beg you to reconsider. If you mean to proceed, then you will do so over my death. You can do so much more, Lord Serenoa. Esfrost and Hyzant would bend the knee to you.
You were right about me, Benedict. I have no desire to rule Norzelia.
At what cost? Would you see your...
I would forfeit my lordship. The people of Wolfort will endure without me. The Roselle have no such champion for their cause.
Give me the order, and I shall reduce Hyzant to rubble.
The ensuing battle will only breed further resentment or worse. War cannot solve every problem.
So, you now take blind counsel from your betrothed. To think that an arranged marriage would...
Enough! I came to this conclusion of my own free will. I have seen the challenges that face Norzelia, and this is how I...
You are every inch Lady Destra's child. Your... Alas, compassion is easily. It can only exist so long as it hasn't... My patience grows thin, Lord Serenoa.
You're wrong. It is little...
A war we can win. Let me lead you to victory.
There is always a war to be won. Do you not...
You talk of fleeing from your duty.
We need you, Benedict.
This is absurd. You rape... Lord Simon entrusted me with the future of this house. And I swore an oath to Lady Destra that I would...
You are shackled to the past, Benedict.
I would call it loyalty.
And it has come to this.
Prepare yourself. You came, you missed.
Here!
You came, you missed. I yield.
No. Neither father nor mother would stand for the killing of a loyal The rest of us shall make our way to Hyzant. Lead the people out of the Wolfort domain before the Hyzantian army assaults this castle.
These are your orders. In exchange for...
These are not orders, and there is no exchange to be made. This is the last thing I will ever ask of you as my...
And so, you follow in the footsteps of Lord... leaving me behind with the most arduous tasks. I shall rise to the occasion, my lord. I shall do whatever is required to see that the Wolfort name... Should House Wolfort lose its lord, I shall lead the house forward.
I have no doubt you will.
Benedict.
We've each made our choices.
Yes.
King Roland, this decision means casting Glenbrook aside. I know I cannot ask you to come with me.
No. I am sorry, my friend.
Of course you are.
You hold me much too high in regard. My faith was misguided. I believed exacting vengeance upon Esfrost, but I gave no thought to the bloody cost. This kingdom and its subjects should not...
Then, you will come.
I shall. Not as your king. Glenbrook has the geographical advantage. I'm certain they will ensure the people. Glenbrook is in too powerful a position for
Roland.
You know you aren't leaving me behind.
You have my thanks, Joué.
Frederica, don't you think you ought to make your conviction?
Well, it's common knowledge I was a lonely child who hated that her hair was a different color. But then I joined House Wolfort. I met Joué and I learned how brave my mother was. How, compared to the horrors they went through, I am proud to be a Rosellan. And I wish to see her dream of I understand the difficulties that lie ahead, but hope that I might have you all with me.
We will always be there beside.
My lord, Hyzant's army has sent a message. It says, the Grand Norzalian Mine.
An offering? Sounds more like...
Precisely. If we refuse to rally...
Then we've no time to waste.
Benedict.
I leave the rest in your hands, Anna.
All these years I have watched you.
Loath as I am to burden you with such...
This ain't the Benedict I know. Come on.
You never change.
Huh. I should hope not. Defend Wolfort I shall.
I shall hold you to it.
I'm telling you, we've...
Your voice hasn't...
Sorry. Parting ways with a friend.
Thank you for seeing me off, you two.
What of the Hyzantian forces?
They haven't entered the domain yet. If we act now...
Focused as they are on seizing the salt crystal deposit.
If we can get into the capital and have the...
But Hyzant is wary of Serenoa for keeping the salt crystals. They may be short-handed.
We can use the consortium cart to...
The wagon from Claris?
Yes. If only because this benefits both us and, in exchange... I told him what...
You mean you told him of Dragan's murder and the...
He understands, and the consortium will have a new role to serve. Now that they know, they will...
You've thought this through.
What of our things, Gila?
Stored safely within the car.
Things?
The explosives
After we've gotten the Roselle to rise up, we'll set sail to make sure no one follows us. We'll blow...
Frederica and I devised the plan.
A perfect way to make an escape.
Wise of you to make for the Falk's domain. It's distant.
Aye, about as far south as you can get.
It's a good plan.
But one problem remains. How do we get the if we can't win their trust?
We need some way of persuading them.
Let me worry about that. I am my mother's daughter after all.
All right.
There is one more thing.
Of course, my lady.
The Rosellan village. I would have them meet us at the Great Falls.
Agreeing to such a thing means they will have to give up the lives they enjoy now.
I cannot say. Regardless, I owe it to them to let...
Indeed. Let us...
Upon learning of the salt crystal deposits, Hyzant quickly musters her forces. They march upon the Wolfort domain, intent on seizing control of the mine. Serenoa decides to take this as an opportunity to free the Roselle enslaved at the source. But that decision leads to Benedict's departure from House Wolfort. Still grappling with grief over parting ways with their friend, Serenoa and the others make for the Hyzantian capital. There, amidst a land in turmoil, they hope to help the Roselle rise up against their oppressors.